SHAC. Happy Monday. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and we're set to do another doodle session together. I hope that there's somebody in the room with me, and I'm looking forward to spending a merry hour drawing, working on our letters. Remember, we started Happy New Year, new idea, and we started working on our alphabet, didn't we? So last week we started with A for apple, A for angel, and the sound is nice and clear. Our Paul is in the building with you. Good morning. Come on in, and let's just let our friends join us. What's the weather like where you are? Hey, it's very cold down here in the southeast of England. Freezing. But you know, any minute now they're gonna be announcing Snowmageddon. We'll have a little trickle of snow, and off we go again. Hi, Ken. I was thinking about you yesterday. How are you, my friend? Hey, Barbie and Ken. I mentioned that we saw the film last week, and I was thinking about you then. I really must dig out that photograph that you photoshopped our two heads into a Ken and Barbie. Very good, Ken. Very good. I hope that you're well. Come on in, my friends, and then we'll get started. So yeah, the weather is very, it's turned, hasn't it? It's turned a little bit again, but there we are. It is January. We do expect it to be cold in January here in Angleterre. Our Grace at the moment is in Queenstown in New Zealand. So quite amazing photographs coming from the other side of the world. I wonder if we've got any friends from Australia in the building. Yeah, so she's in the South Island in New Zealand, so we're learning all about that. She says it's heaven, absolutely heaven. And of course, really warm. She's picking up a tan. She went cycling yesterday. She said she can't sit down anymore now. And it's 11 hours time difference. So at 6 o'clock this morning, when I woke up, it was 5 o'clock. It was already 5 o'clock on this Monday in the afternoon, in the evening. So they were just going out for a meal, having been cycling all day. Yeah, it's a long way. It's a long way to New Zealand. Love to go, wouldn't you? It's on my bucket list, and on Dave's, fortunately. He's always wanted to go to New Zealand because of the sheep shearing. I know. Anyway, anywho, let's crack on, shall we? We've got 73 of us already in the building, and it's not even 10 o'clock yet. Well, you flatter me. Did you have a chance to watch television yesterday when I was on Create and Craft with our Dan Bancroft? That was a pleasant couple of hours. God, it went so fast. I really did not see that second hour go. You know, I was all set to get the paint out and start on the gel press. And then he said, you've got 2 minutes left. I said, you joke? How's that work? Yeah, but there you go. It was good, and it was successful too. You really liked those lovely new stamps by Tina Cox, which I'm very happy. I'm very happy about, because of course there's always a lot of work, lots of effort. You know, you have no idea how much time, effort, energy, and money goes into each and every TV show. You know. Yeah. Anyway, so shall we get started? Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Good to have your company. And it's nice to be in the warm, in the dry, isn't it? So last week, I thought it would be a really good idea. New year, new idea. I was thinking about it. I thought, how about we wrap our groovy sessions on a Monday at 10 o'clock and on a Thursday at 7 o'clock, or in the evening, that is. Why don't we wrap them around an alphabet? Why don't we develop or design our own phonic alphabet? And that way we're learning how to draw letters. And of course, the letters offer us so many different options. Every time we hit a letter, we can draw something different. So we can bounce between anything that begins, you know, when we get to A, D, B, C, D, you know, D for dog, D for daisies, D for dad, D for whatever we want it to be for, you know, deer. Oh dear, like deer with antlers. If you want to try draw one of them, we could go back, H for horse. We could go back to Camelot if you feel inclined, or we could do H for hat. We could do B for boot. I could think of lots of things. And I thought it'd be really good because you can give us some ideas. But at the moment we're on A for apple and A for angel. So let's have a look where we started. And then if you're new to the fold, welcome. It's a really cool place. The SHAC, safe, happy and creative, or staying home and crafting, or stay home and craft, whatever you want it to be. But for us, it's a safe, happy and creative place, ain't it? So let's have a look. This is what I was sketching. This is what I was looking at. So we went with the A. We learned how to draw that last week. A for apple, we did the apple. Had a bit of a meltdown on that one. D is for Dave. Yeah, you want to draw Dave? Then we've got the angels. And then I reduced the angel. And then what we did was, once I had a sort of a sketch, this is me before we even got going in the SHAC, just working it out. Then I thought, right, so let's prepare the letter. And so what we did was, here are the measurements, just if you want to catch up. And then what I did was, I figured out very quickly that it makes more sense, let me show you, to move the apples, cool, we've got loads of bits of tracing paper here, that we move the apples onto a separate sheet. And then that way, when we go to transfer them, see if we want to transfer them, A is pretty good because it's kind of symmetrical, right? But when we go to transfer it, we'll turn it over, put some some graphite on the back, then we'll flip it back, right? But of course the apple's going to go in first, isn't it? Unless we want it to be behind, you know. Then I went into the angels last week. So let's have a look at them for a moment. Let's put them on a piece of white. Yes, I had another little doodle. And I had, instead of making the arms like this, let me show you. I thought this looks nicer with robes rather than little sticky arms. So this is why we use our tracing paper. So I thought, right, get rid of that, like so, right? We'll just, this is obviously, this is all rough, you see. So you could do what you like at this point. So this is where you make your picture good. And then I thought, actually, like this, you see, it would look better if it just went down like that, like a flowing robe, yeah. And then what you can do is, you can make the pleats go up like that, see? So it looks like, just take it up like that. Yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? Easy, and you haven't got to worry so much about the wings. So that was what I was looking into. And then, you know, once you get the folds in like that, you can really enhance them. But it's all about a squiggle to start with that you can then go up from, like so. So that's not difficult, is it? There you go. And then we've got some little wraparound scrolls, a bit more. And we can bring that round like that. She's quite big, but there we are. Then I did her a bit smaller, and then I did a really rinky-dink like that. She's rather nice. See, and then what we were looking at last week was, let me take that sketch away there. See, then what we can do is we can take that A for apple or angel, and you see I could pop her on there like so. I could put her behind, I could put her just levitating a little bit there. You see, you could put her in front of the letter, you know. Yeah, so of course, the size of your artwork, if you're doing an A, I was thinking about this in the traffic jam on the way to work today, because you can see I'm at Clarity Towers this morning. We've got so much that we need, design stuff that we need to move forward on. So I thought I'd spend the morning in here with Jazz and Jim and Paul and Jilly. So we'll move forward on it, you see. But I was thinking about this on the way to work this morning, because once you've got your basic letter, you could change the letter. Once you've got the basic shape, and I thought I'd show you a couple of tricks this morning of how to change the letter. And then the other thing is, of course, you can change the size. That's easy. We mentioned last week, you know, if a letter's 2 inches tall, then instead of say the A is 2 inches tall, instead of putting the bar on the A at 1 inch halfway, you put it a little bit higher up. So say 3/4 of the inch down. So that way, let me show you, if you see it like this, see, instead of doing, instead of doing it halfway there, this one, it's a little bit further up. You could go even further up. You could put this bit up here. This is when we start changing things, see? You could put it up there and make that the bar there. See, so you're moving the bar up even further now. So that's the bar. Hang on, let's have a look. This is the bar here, see? And then you knock that out there and there. And then you lose this one here and you close that off like that. See, it changes it again, makes it very tall. But we're going to let's stick with this one so that and what I mentioned last week was as well, that it's a good idea really. Now, we're going to spend a little bit longer on the A, only because once we've done the A and we've settled on a letter and a size, then everything else follows from that, you see. Then the B follows from that. Everything goes to the same place. But what I'm saying is the halfway line, see, instead of making this and this the same size, which would involve bringing that halfway line down, right? So then that opening and that opening are the same. Usually when you look at a letter, the bottom half is always bigger than the top half, simply put, okay? We don't want to make a science out of it. Sue Lees is new to the SHAC. Welcome, Sue. You're in for a treat. And we try to keep it simple here, don't we, friends? So, and if you want to join in, happy days. If you want to catch up, that's fine too. Not everybody is in the building live now. When we were in the SHAC and there were, at 10 o'clock every morning for years, weren't we, friend? There used to be 500 of us because no one was going anywhere. Now people have to go to work, and so they catch up in the evening. We've still got a lot of people. And the other thing is that all the different projects that we did during lockdown, they're all still there on YouTube. They've all been recorded. And so several of our friends have actually gone back to the beginning and started working their way through. It's like a therapy, it's like art therapy, except it's free. Yeah. So welcome, Sue. It's good to have your company. So let's take a look now, and I thought today we'd have a look at the A again, and we're going to spend a little bit longer on the first letter because I want to show you some tricks to do with how to change the letters. You see, and then that way you've got your template, your alphabet that you're designing, but you can change each letter. You can change each alphabet then. You design put a different spin on it. I'll show you a couple of little tricks, and then it's really cool. So let me show you. For example, if I take, let me show you this. I've drawn another A, right? This is the A I did the other day, yeah? I've got a couple of them to show you. Let's use the thinner one on this one. So this one's a bit thinner, right here, and then it's a bit fatter on this side. Right, so this thin bit here, let me show you something. If we take this thin bit, you ready? Am I rushing? I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush. It's Monday. I was working all day yesterday. Long day yesterday. Do you know, we get up at 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday when we do TV. Mental, isn't it? Get up at 5:30. Paul picks me up at 7:30. We're up at the studios by about 10:30. Then we put all the set, we dress all the set. Then we have an hour just having a cup of tea and I put my makeup on. Then we have a technical meeting with the director and the producer. So we tell them what we think should be happening and so we discuss how the show's going to run with Dan, the presenter. So everybody's clued in because that's the first time they get to see what we're doing, you see. So we have a really long meeting about that, which takes about half an hour, sometimes 45 minutes. And then we go live. And then it's over to you, friends, whether you buy it or not. And then we're finished, and it takes about an hour to break the counter down again. So then we go from 3 to 5, then 5, we get out of the building about 6 o'clock, and then home we go. Home, James, and don't spare the horses. So we get home about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then I'm pooped. I'm pooped. I am. So Paul. And sometimes we have to sing on the way home to stay awake, don't we, darling? And we chat, 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 and we talk, talk, talk. And before you know it, you're back in Tunbridge Wells. Yeah? So there you go, long Sundays. And there's Dave. He's all ready with the supper. Isn't that nice? To come home to a log fire and a bit of supper. So that's Sunday. So if I'm looking a little bit jaded today, that, my friends, is the reason. Now, where was I? A. So we're going to change the letters a little bit. All right? Sarah Milson for the first time in the SHAC too. Well, welcome, Sarah. This is such a pleasure to have your company. You're in good company as well, because a lot of the SHACers, we're not exclusive, we're not cliquey. You'll find that the people that have been with me since day one every day, they are very welcoming, very kind. And they will all tell you that their drawing and their doodle skills and their colouring skills are far, far more improved on where we were at the beginning of lockdown. Ain't that the truth, friends? Hey? I look gorgeous as usual. Thank you so much, Jane. I'm feeling my age today, but that's okay. I am my age. Now, come on then. I'll show you a couple of tricks with the A. Yeah, and to the newcomers, Sarah and Sue, just relax and enjoy the ride. You to get going, honestly, you just need a pencil and a piece of paper. We use tracing paper, which you've probably got a stash of at home. We sell really good tracing paper. We sell all the bits that I use here, but you don't have to have the right gear. You can use anything you got in your stash, okay? So let's have a look. So we've got the A. This is a bit thinner here than this here, isn't it? Right, so what we'll do, let's pretend, remember those posh old chair legs, and they had like a twist on them. So you could go like this here. Let's have a look, let's just put a twist. You know that kind of twist like that? So you could come round like that, watch, and you could put a little twist on the leg of that A, like that. Do you see? So that way, let me just sharpen this a minute. Let's have a look. See, and then when you can modify, look. So you could make a twist like that. Doesn't that look pretty? You see? Now, so that's one thing that you could do, is put a twist on it, like so. Right? And if you wanted, you could go further, you could put another one on there. Look, you can make the twist, you can make this thinner, and you could do more twists. You could say to yourself, right, the whole alphabet, I'm going to put a twist in the top right hand side. So you could maybe put the twist there, then you'd have to make this a bit thinner. You might put the twist on the top, always in the top half. Do you see what I mean? Or in the bottom half, whichever, or here, there and everywhere. It's entirely up to you. Or you just put the twist where it fits. The letters are obviously going to sit together in a set if they've got that lovely twist, right? And it's the thing about it as well is it's really nice to colour in and shade. You can really practice your shading on that little twist. Silly little things like that. But there's one option. Right, here's another option. I wouldn't say do both of these on the same letter, because I think it gets a bit busy, You throw all your tricks at the same, less is more. So say this one here is a bit fatter. So why don't we, let me show you this. Why don't we make this one even fatter, like that? So now I'm taking this out, let's say, I'll put it back in again in a minute, but just to show you. So I'll take that one out. I said that we're going to focus a little bit longer on the A, only because, there, so I've made it a bit fatter, right? Not much, but just enough to do this. So now in here, on every letter, again, see, I can make this a bit fatter, like that. I can make that a bit fatter, like that, right? But just wide enough so that I could put, let's just say, you might even want a ruler to do this, right? If you want to go, so make a little mark there and there, let's say, and there and there. And then we could make an aperture, like a sliver, doesn't even have to be like that, and like that. Right, so now that is an opening in the letter. Look, I'll show you. That now is actually the back. See, so it's got, you might want to even make it a bit fatter. Who in the group has got my floral, did you ever get the floral alphabet? Most of Britain's got the floral. We'd sell a lot of the floral alphabet. I did a really beautiful phonic floral alphabet in groovy and in stamps. And in each letter, when you look at the letter, there's that trick, this one, is in every letter. And so it's like it's a running design that runs through all the alphabet. And what it did was, if I was doing so that travels around the back. Say this is an ivy leaf. Let's put a little bit of ivy. I for ivy, right? So we've got this, whatever it is, and then it goes round the back of that bit, but then it peeps out here, you see? So it comes out there, and it really adds a lot of dimension. See what I'm getting at? Because it comes through there, it comes around the back. It might come over the front of this one, see? Then you've just got to knock that out and that out, and then it comes around so this is a great way of, see how you can weave. So you could go, if you wanted to, you could go out and in and out and then back that way. You see what I mean? So you can get a really cool weave going, and then you just have to rub out the necessary bits, and then you put your leaves in. So there's a leaf on the front. Maybe if this is coming around the front of this, you put a leaf on there, just to accentuate the fact that the letters at the back. See how it's a nice way to draw stuff. And the best thing about this whole groovy, this whole SHAC experience, to my mind, is that there's absolutely no pressure. I don't feel pressure. I don't feel performance pressure. That could have to do with the fact that I've been doing this in front of my friends for years now. So I'm comfortable with it, you know, and we have a laugh, we cry together, we do all that. But the thing is, for you at home, it's just ideal, because you can pick up tricks and tips, and then you can, when it's real like yoga for the mind, because then when you're on your own and you feel you need to clear your head, or just you're too worried or anxious about stuff, you know, there's so much to be anxious and worried about and sad about. So sometimes, a lot of us, we get really overwhelmed with it. And then you think, hang on a minute, what did she show us in the SHAC on Monday? I'm going to have a go. I'm going to take, let's see, my niece's name is Louise. So I'm going to draw L. You don't have to wait until March till we get to L. Once you know how the letters are drawn, you can zip straight forward. In the SHAC, we're on the bus. We're on the SHAC bus, and we're going to go A, B, C, you know, curly K, D, F. We're going down the track in the order that the letters evolve in an alphabet. But once you know the tricks, then you, as an artist, you can go, don't have to wait for me, friends. You can't say to Louise, oh, sorry, I was going to do you a personalised card, but we weren't on L yet. Give over. Hello. Right, now, so we've worked out how to do that trick. We've worked out the twist. And then the other thing, see, the nice thing about this is, let me find another, have I got another one to, yeah, I've still got my original one. Let's take this one here, right, just to show you another really cool trick that I like. And it's the drop shadow. You know, drop shadow. If you think of, go to the circus, go to the carnival, you know, those amazing letters that they make in you know, sign writers. Absolutely spectacular. I could stare at them forever. And so what you do is you make a drop shadow, and you can get so good at drop shadow. But the idea is, let's say, for example, you go like that, and then it comes to, so that's a drop there. Let's say, I'm just showing you the trick, right? We're going to assume that the light's coming from this side. So now the drop shadow, right, it's going to come down to there. Have a look, I'll show you. I'm going to use a ruler just because it keeps it straight. Let's have a look. If I go down like that, right, so that now is a shadow. So that angle there, it's got to be, I've got to maintain that angle though, see? So now that angle there comes down here, 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 depending on how big I want my feet to be. I'm sure there are technical words for all this, but for the purposes of what we're doing, this is good enough. See, so now we've got a drop shadow. See what I'm doing? So that's a drop shadow there. That's there, that's there. They've all got to be the same though. And then now we're going to come round this way. So this here, look, it's got the same, if you think about it. If this is 3-dimensional, then that's got to go there like that. That's got to come. I like doing stuff. I used to get slung out of the classroom for doing this stuff at school, didn't you? Look. they used to get so annoyed with me because I was always doing this stuff in the classroom. See, that comes around like that. In fact, I reckon, let's have a think. Let me just check something. Does that go right up there underneath? I reckon that probably would. That would tuck in like that. So now you see you've got your shadow. Let's just put a shadow in so you can see it. Like that. Hang on a minute, what have we got here? Oh, and then we've got another one. So that leg comes around like that. Hold on a minute, let me think. Yeah, you haven't got a whole leg there. That would look ridiculous. Right, there you go. Like so, I reckon. So I'm struggling a bit with that. I ran out of time to prep this, but I know what I want to do. But do you know what? See that bit there comes around like that. I might block them off and make them not so leggy. So it looks a bit. Let me show you. So Jim and I've worked together for many, many years. Like, he's only in the other room next door. He's such a good guy. And so this morning he said, I've got a book I want to show you, Barb. I got it given to me for Christmas. And he said, I think you'll like it. And I think it will come in very handy. Check this out. What a book. All the fonts of the fair. Just check out. See? Look, see the drop shadow? You only have to, listen, I don't need the rest of the book. I just need the front page. Just the front cover will do me. Check this out. Look, so you've got your drop shadow. Yeah. And I love this idea. So that means that not only have they done the drop shadow, but then they've created, look, they've created so you know where I made a hole in it. They've created a ridge. So all this now, right, this now becomes a ridge. Look, check this out. So that comes down like that. Let me check it out. Yeah, and then every time there's a, look. So this works. Let me just, so you come to there, then you make a ridge. So you get an optical illusion now, like this. Cool, this is advanced, isn't it? See? And then, now, so that it digs into the shadow, you've got to dig it in, haven't you? See what I'm doing? So you really have to start putting shadows in now to see the dimensionality of it. Or like they've done, you do it with the colour, you see? So we could have a go at that as well. Down the road, when we get, when we're down to E and F and G and H, H would be a good one to try that. So, I mean, they've done it on the A. Take a screen grab of that. Not good. Just have a go. This is good. It's on a slant, see? Italic. Look at all the different fonts on here. That one, we're doing the drop shadow. This one, I love this. This is sort of, just put a little flourish there. Look, it's different shape. Drop shadow again. They're good at drop shadow. Italicized, which means it's on a slant. See? It's on a slant and it's got a wave going on as well. And then the big one down the bottom, which is what we're kind of doing here. Do you see? This is the one that we're working on without the 3-dimensional. Although I'm in love with that, I could develop that. But this is flat, say, on the top. This is flat. And then there's a drop shadow. Isn't it super? I wrote a blog on Saturday because we went to Rye. And in the blog I said, because we had an amazing time. Paul's just told me it's snowing outside. Oh, here we go, Snowmageddon. Listen, if you've lived in Bavaria for any period of time and Austria, then It's got to be snowing some to impress me. In Germany, when I lived in Nuremberg and in Munich, God blimey, you just put the snow chains on and carried on, you know. And if you had a Mercedes, you put sandbags in the back because the back of the car always slid around. Anyway, where was I? I digress. I've lost my thread. It's one of those days. Yeah, sorry. You in your blimmin' snow. Now tell me where I was, Paul. I can't remember. Anyway, let's go back to the letters and we'll take it from there. Rye, thank you. So I was in Rye. Yes, thank you. So I was in Rye and with Dave, we went for a walk and we had the most magnificent day. I wrote about it because I like blogging when I've got something to blog about. So I wrote a blog when I got home, took a couple of hours, like a diary really, barbaragrayblog.com. Anyway, and what it occurred to me when we were down in Rye, I didn't get my phone out once. I didn't check anything. I didn't look who was looking at me. I didn't look who was trying to get hold of me. Didn't even get my phone out, except to take a photograph when we got to a beautiful place. I got the better phone of the two of us, so I got the phone. But the point that and it was like a little epiphany really, because we only went to Rye, which is only up the road from us, or down the road if you like. But I said it in the blog, if you put your phone away and you look at what's in front of you, it's so obvious. We're always banging on about mindful this and mindful that. But if you put your phone away and you just concentrate on what's in front of you, like now, this letter A, right? And then you don't talk about anything else, no distraction, right? You don't talk about anything else except what's actually in front of you, right? It's quite something. It's like entering into a whole new world. Like just now, by way of example, yeah, we just focused on that A, just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. We didn't do anything else. We just looked at this letter and we looked at how we could do a twist, how we could do a wind, a twine like that, how we could do a drop shadow, yeah. And everybody who was focused on that, that's exactly where we were. We weren't worried about what's going on in the rest of the world, what's going on with the neighbours, what's going on with the building over there. Nothing, not the weather, nothing. All you're focused in. And you know what? When you're doing that, and this is the point, I'm no therapist, I'm no psychologist, but I do know the minute I'm in that zone, right, I'm free. I'm not thinking about anything else except what I'm thinking about. And it's so freeing. You can start with a headache and within 5 minutes the headache's gone. You know, it's like when I was on the telly yesterday. I know I'm waffling now, but it's true. When I was on the telly, I was so in what I was doing with the jelly plate. Remember I said on the telly, the gel press, if you haven't got one, treat yourself, friends, right? Just get a 6x6 gel press with a mega mount, because if you start to work with the gel press and you accept that it's the unpredictability of that artwork, right? It transports you. It really does. And if you stop worrying about the outcome that you want and just go with it, go with what you get, work with what you've got. And it's so freeing, you know, and anybody in this world, in the gel press kind of arty world, knows exactly what I'm talking about. It set me free. It turned me from a crafter into an artist. It was like that. Once I accepted that I don't have control over the outcome, therein lies the secret. Because let's face it, we don't. But this kind of thing is really good for focusing the mind, okay? So we've had a couple of little tricks and tips now. I've shown you a couple of little tricks and tips for this, right? And like Paul says, it's like being in the moment. You're in the moment. You know where else except here, okay? So we're going to use this idea. And we've got our apple. So let me see. I've got my A, back to the plan. We diverged. The bus went on a little detour, right? A little a little alphabeticizing detour, and those little tricks and tips, maybe during the course of the alphabet, we'll come up with a few more ideas, try another couple of tricks, right? But for now, we're going to keep it vanilla. We'll keep it simple, okay? So we've got that. We've got our apple, let's say, on a different piece of paper. Now let's pretend we want to transfer it. So now if we just flick this over and transferred it, our A wouldn't be the same. The wider side would be on the inside, which is not usually the way it works. Okay, so what we've got to do in order to do this, we've got to put pencil, if you like, lead or graphite, we've got to put it on the back, haven't we, of our template. So if I drew the apple like that, I've got to flick that over now, and I've got to take, see, this is a fine pencil, which is a bit hard, right? So it's great for drawing because you can get right in on the detail. For example, when I'm drawing the angel, I can get real tight on her head, you know, little, and you sharp fine pencil, you get a sharp fine line, you know, duh. So but when we want to transfer it, you know, we need to get a softer pencil, and the softness of the pencil is in the blackness. See the B. So if you look at this, and honestly, if you haven't got these pencils, don't sweat it. An HB, which is a bog standard pencil, any pencil you've got at home will be an HB, unless it's a sketching pencil, see? Then the B, the higher the B scale, the softer, the more graphite. So for example here, the lead, look, I'll show you, 5B, 7B. 7B is going to be so black, buffer black, right? That you see how soft that is. So that means, but look, see, it smears, right? But I mean, Faber-Castell pencils, I love them, right? And it also changes from make to make. So you might take a Schwan Stabilo pencil or a Stettler pencil or another make, right? And their 7B or 6B will be completely different to the Faber-Castell one. They don't all run off the same track. They have the same theory, but not the same levels of softness, if you like. So you've got to find your pencil of choice. And if you haven't got anything, HB's good. Okay? But to transfer the lead, you need something softer. So if I had an HB in front of me, I'd use that, but I don't. So I'll go with a 2B, that'll do. Maintains the detail, really. It maintains the detail, but it maintains the detail. So let's say, for example, now, what do I want to do? I've got to have a think about my plan. If I take my A, when I want to transfer it, what I'd like it to look like was my original picture. So I just want to take a big old fat apple like that, and I want to put it in front of the letter. What do you think? If I put it in front of the letter, will I know that that's an A? Or should I put it behind the letter? I think, right, I've answered my own question. I'm going to put it behind the letter, because otherwise it'd be different if the apple was smaller. Look, I could put it in front and it still looks like it. It's definitely very much an A. I've got another idea. I've just had another idea. A. My dad used to say, it's what horses eat, Barbara. Hey. Right. If we could put one big apple behind the letter and the little one in the front, couldn't we? Like that. That'd look quite good. Yeah, why not? I'm no expert, people. That's a fact. So that's the way I drew it. That's the F for front. And this is the B for back. Okay, just so I know. So now I need to transfer it. In order to do that, I've got to put some lead on the back. So I'm going to retrace my drawing just to get the shape right. Okay, that'll do. And then I've got my stalk. You can see the pencil is blacker. And in its blackness lies its softness. Okay, So for example, like that. Okay. So all I'm doing here, I'll get a transfer of some sort, but it's not what I'm after because I want it the right way around. Does that make sense? I think so. That'll do. And then I'll do the little one as well at the same time, only because I want to draw that one too, don't I? So I've got my stalk, got my leaves. That'll do. Just put in that. Right, so now I've got the lead on the right side to do my job, and then I need it on my A as well. So now I decide what sort of A am I going with. I'm going with bog standard. I don't want any trickery on this one. I'm just going to go with this one. Just A for apple. Quite straightforward. So let's have a look. See, this is the back, obviously. So I'm going to go like that. Let's do it freehand. It's good for the brain. I do like the alphabet. I like fonts. I've always had a thing about fonts and words, really. I studied linguistics at university, so it's always been my thing. You know, most of you know that my kids, they live in the States. So Gracie lives in New York, although like I said, she's in Queenstown at the moment, and Mark lives in San Francisco. Living the dream. Kids are living the dream. We didn't have them to keep them for ourselves, but we're very close. And so Mark and I, actually, the lad, we play. So I wish I knew what I'd done and what I hadn't done here. If it's blacker, I've probably done it right. We play a really cool game every day. It's an ongoing thing, like Scrabble games with friends. I think I might have mentioned it, and it's really good to do because if you can stomach the ads, but I've got a way of flicking it out now, so I don't have to suffer the ads. But we play Scrabble, so then it's my turn. Then 12 hours later, he has a go because there's a time difference. You see, 8-hour time difference. So at the moment he's asleep, but when I woke up this morning, he'd played his turn. So the first thing I do is play my turn. And then when he wakes up, he's like, first thing he thinks of is his mum. First thing I think of is my son. And we play the same game. We play not obviously we play the same game, but what we do is we have the same, we play the same strategy, you know. He is a rugby player, he's a team player, he's a sportsman, right? And he's a second row player. So he is always very aware of his opponent. And as a rugby player, second row, if you think about it, he's also always keeping the opponent's opportunities to a minimum, isn't he? As a second row player, he's trying to block their play, right? And he plays Scrabble like that too. You know what I mean? He doesn't go wading in like a goal scorer and just oblivious to the consequence of that, what his opponent's going to do with that move. Yeah. So when he plays, he doesn't give you an opening. And I play exactly the same game because I'm a chess player. And the chess player plays that as well. The chess player is playing 5 moves ahead. If I do that, then he'll have a triple word. Don't want to give him a triple word. So even though that might give me an advantage in the short term, I'm going to play a more modest. Do you see what I mean? I'm playing a more modest move because I don't want to open up the scoreboard to him. So when we play Scrabble, our words overlap and we find words within words, which can give you quite a good score. But it's so it's amusing playing with my son, who plays the same strategy as me, but coming from a completely different place. Yeah, it's a thinking game. I really enjoy it. And sometimes he wins and sometimes I win. He's a very worthy opponent. You know, I love it. So anyway, where were we? We've got apples and we've got A's. And so my point is, if you've got a friend that lives a long way away and you miss that person, like I miss Mark, and you like playing games, right? it's a really good way to hook up with somebody on a daily basis in a fun way, you know, because when you're playing a game, even if you're in the same room, you're still in your head, aren't you, playing it, even if you're sitting vis-a-vis. So whether he's 8,000 miles away or in the same room with me, at that moment we're playing, we're locked together. I like that. Anyway, so I've got my apples and I've got my main letter. And I want to see now, I'm going to do it on, let's just put it on a piece of, I'm going to put it on a bit of card so I can see what it looks like when I pen it, right? Because that's the other thing, is what you're going to do with it. Right, so this is the right way around now. I'll tell you what I do need, so it doesn't move while I'm working. Just stay there a minute, because all my gear is all in my, it's in my office. Hang on a minute, I just need some low tack tape. Got it. Right, I'm going to stick it right in the middle, because then I can trim it if I want. I was thinking about this earlier on as well. Because I thought, God, I'll tell you what would be nice as well. If you, oh, hello. If you fancied keeping a journal, right? Do you remember last year we gave these away as gifts? These are these little petite journals, and we gave them away. I mean, we sell them now, but they were, if you're wondering, if you've got this in your stash from the birthday weekend on telly, these are little watercolor petite journals, really very, very cool, right? Perfect size for this job. Look, see, really nice. You can go that way, you can go that way, you can keep a little journal, you can keep, listen, it's only for you, look, wunderbar, right? These are really cool. And if you use the front sleeve and the back sleeve, there are two pages that aren't watercolor, you got 26 of them. So 24 pieces of watercolor in there, plus your back and your front. So if you start at the front, don't start here, and then when we get to Z, go, I don't believe it. I'm not responsible for that, okay? So you get to the end after 3 months hard labour, and then you find that there's nowhere for your Y and your Z. Well, she did say in the beginning, use the front sleeve, didn't she? Do you know what would be a really good idea? If you took a really fine pencil, off pencil that erases really well, and put a little A, B, curly K, D, F, G, all the way through, so you don't get the order wrong. But what a smashing little, a little hurrah to the SHAC that would be if we worked on this and made a little alphabet book and wrote our thoughts, you know. Be quite cool, wouldn't it? I'm not doing that live though. 999. But it's good because you could also learn some really nice watercolor tricks and that, couldn't we? At the same time. Right, you ready? So now we're going to transfer the letter, right? But we want to leave out, see, because we're going to have the apple. So if we put the apple behind, that's fine. If we put the apple in front, right, then if we put the apple in front, that's the back, that's the front. If we put the apple there, then we know that we don't, so I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to transfer that bit. Do you see what I mean? Then I'll put the apple in, then I'll come back. You can either do that or you could put the apple in first. What do you want to do? Put the apple in first. No, you can't control it so well then. Let's give it a go. Let's stop there. All I'm going to do is stop there. Look, put a little line there. Okay? Transfer that. Put the apple in, put the legs in. Easy. Okay. Right, let's get the letter down. And what am I using? I'm using the F for fine again. The other thing that we were going to do, this is a good idea, because I mean, clarity, we celebrated 30 years in business last year. Should we have a look if it's working? I've done that bit and that bit. Yeah. I didn't do the bottom belay, but that's all right. I can work that out. So that means that over the years, I've illustrated and we've designed and come up with so many alphabets, okay? Like really beautiful stamps, groovy plates. So we said what we'll do is, instead of last year, we had a design of the week. Every week we came up with a lovely design and had a sale on it. There you go, look. So what we said was, this year, since we're in it for the alphabets, every month, rather than we haven't got that many alphabets, not that many, but we definitely got 12, right? So every month, what we want to do, oh, Barbara, you said you wouldn't, and then you did. Clown. See, I wasn't going to do that bit. That's what happens when you talk and work at the same time. Rub it out. Rub it out. It's all right. It's only a bit of paper. Right, gets rid. Wants to put the apple in the front, remember? Oh, what? One of the most important things about this is not to take yourself so seriously. It's all right. It's because I'm talking, I'm thinking, I'm drawing. Right, happy alphabet. This month, January, I'm going to put this to one side. This is the alphabet that we're going for, okay? This is a cool one, and you'll recognize the twist. See the twist? Yeah, I know, I drew these ages ago. Little twist, really nice, lovely little stamps, not very tall. They're a couple of centimeters, look. So they're really cool to do. So there's the alphabet, then there's the numbers to go with, and then we've got these beautiful little assets, loads and loads of little tiny stamps. So that bundle, if you buy the bundle, it's really inexpensive, and there's a special offer on it plus your club discount. So I'm sure that Paul will put up the deal of the month. This is the alphabet of the month. Have a look at a couple of beautiful pieces of artwork. Linda Spencer. See, there's the 80, and there's this. See that little thing there? Look, all the way around. Isn't that fabulous? There you go. Here's Elaine Milner. Thanks. Yeah, and then she's used made a little panel with a post-it, and then she's used the little pieces around the outside. This is lovely, isn't it? Here we go again. Linda Spencer. Heart, mask, thank you. Using these ones. Yeah. And then the little assets all around the outside. Isn't it cool? Jane Telford, bless her. Pink. There you go. So she's used the flowers and then the 6th in the middle. It's your birthday. There you go. So that's the stamps. It's really nice, isn't it? So there's a really good savings on that. If you're a groover, well, welcome. Here's a groovy plate. Same design, really pretty. Let me show how it translates. So this one is Carol Pankstello. Thanks so much. See? Comes out beautiful. Really does. Francis Knott. Extraordinary work. Colouring. Using the plates. Lovely colouring work, isn't it? Have a look at that one on the other camera. Let's see if I show you this one up close. Look at that. I know. Little golden twists. Aren't they lovely? Yep. And then we've got Mum and Dad, Glynis Whitehead. Look, you see, really, really pretty. So that, my friends, we call that the happy alphabet, because it is. It makes you feel happy. And Happy New Year, Happy New Alphabet. There you go. That's the alphabet of the month. Right, back to me, Apple. Happy Apple. I only had to stop there, did I? Nah, did I, heck? Right, so I've done that. Now I'll lean that over. This is an overlay. So lean that one over there like so. Then I'm going to take my pom, and I'll put my pom in the front like there. Okay, I think I'm going to put my apple there. What have I got here? Fine. Let's just see if this works. Right, so I'll put my apple in like that. So you leave this in the same place. The overlay, it's easy to do if you remember not to do it first. Right, that's like that now. Let's have a look if I got that. Yeah, so that's in. Then we come back down, right? And now I can put the rest of the alphabet in. See, so that's got a little leg there and then there like that. Now let's see if it worked. Yeah, voila. It does work if you remember. Yeah, that's quite cool, isn't it? So what I want to do now is put the, I missed a line there, so I'm going to use my pen there. I mean, this is all going to be inked up anyway, isn't it? So you're not going to see it. Right, pretty, A for apple. I think it's self-explanatory. What do you think? What do we have here? Are you going to draw a clown when it comes to the letter C? Is this Paul winding me up, or is that actually a suggestion? I could draw a clown. We could draw a clown. Hey, I think a clown would be a great one to draw. I could think of lots of other things that begin with C, but I think clown would be a good one. Yeah, be easy to draw, be fun. And for children's cards, if you've got children, yeah. If you've got a child called Charlie, we could do clown. Anyway, so now I take that off. I've got my A in the middle. Cool. And now I can take my other apple. Do we want to put that one on the back? What do I think? Or do we just like it like that? You know what? The jury's out at the moment because we can always put that in afterwards if we want to, can't we? We could make it like, so no, I'm going with it. I'm going to go with a little apple to start with. Right, so here we go. To ink, we've got ones and I looked at the 3 as well. So I thought we always go to the 1 of these micron pens. These are for the newcomers, okay? These are the pens for inking, not just what we sell. Honestly, they are for artists. They're brilliant. You don't need much in the SHAC, but if you're going to do inking up, you do need a good ink pen. I mean, don't say, oh, that's it, I can't join in. Yeah, you can. You can use a biro, but these are really good inking pens. And they come, I'll show you, they come in a pack like this. I had to bring them with me because I'm not in my own studio today. But they come in a pack of 7. You get all different sizes, see? So I tend to use the 1 and the little really thin one. But today I was looking at the 3 as well because I thought, well, the letter might be really good bold. But I'm going to stick to 1 for now. And then the 3 might be good for the drop shadow if we put a drop shadow in. Right, let's have a look. So then what we're going to do is ink. And when we ink, we make the artwork come to us. Tell you what else I'm going to do, friends. I'm going to put my Dame Edna's on. My eyesight is really getting bad. Tell me I'm not alone. My eyesight's failing me. My fingers, look at this one. This is heading in the wrong direction. Oh, no, pathetic. Yeah, arthritis. My mum calls it arthritis. It's Arthur. Right. So we're going to bring this round. See, and then when you rub out the pencil, you've got to wait for this to dry. Like, I won't touch this until tomorrow. Actually, I will leave it that long. I think I've learnt that it helps. Whoa, keep going, keep going, keep going. It helps if you really let this arty ink dry before you rub out the pencil. And then I'll be able to really rub that well where I went wrong. I think this would look really nice. And we've got between now and Thursday to decide what we're going to do. Are we going to colour this in? See, I really like Granny Smith's. What's your favourite apple? I'm a Granny Smith's or Pink Lady. What about you? Cox is quite nice too, if it's a good Cox. But I love a Granny Smith's. I like a bit of a, you know, I like a tang. And then a Pink Lady, they're quite nice too, aren't they? What about you? What do you prefer? Because the reason I'm asking is because we're going to go with the colour of our favourite apple. Why not? Your apple, your ride. My apple, I bite. I tell you what though, I can't bite into an apple now. If I bit into an apple now, like properly, half my teeth would stay in the apple, I think. So I have to cut the apple, don't you? Oh, it's good getting old, isn't it? Fingers are all headed in different directions. My eyes, I'm staring at you, but I can't see you. And my teeth are going to fall out soon. Yeah. Oh, what a game. Right, let's get this apple sorted out before she loses it completely. Okay. Yeah. Happy New Year, really, hey? Happy New Year. With these pens as well, you don't really have to press very hard. You just let the ink flow, right? And when you take a break, when you stop, try to stop where there's a join or another image. See? And notice also when I do this, I make the artwork come to me. See? I turn the card rather than my hand, and I've got more control that way. See? There you go. There's my apple. God, this is so simple, really, isn't it? But it's nice. And now I've done that, I can decide whether I want to put a drop. See, a drop shadow would look pretty good on there, won't it? Maybe between now and Thursday, I'll put that little drop shadow in. You know what I showed you before? I'm going to have a play. Because I think a little subtle drop shadow, and I've made, wow, see, I don't know if it'll work, I'll give it a go and I'll let you know. I'll give it a go and I'll let you know. Right, so there you go. I know it took an hour to do that. It's a good hour though. Hour well spent, friends. Hour well spent. Okay. Let me put my other glasses on now. And let me see. What else did I want to tell you? No, I think I've covered everything. I did want to say though, tomorrow, what's coming up? It's Monday morning. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, our lovely Paul will be Groovy Tuesdaying it with you. So we're here to keep you company. You know that. So Tuesday, it'll be Paul and he'll be doing Groovy. And then on Thursday, Create and Craft, Jane Telford makes her debut. Yes, she does, don't you, Jane? So she'll be heading up to the studios the evening before, ready to take on the Pergamano show. And that will be at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So 11 o'clock in the morning, Jane makes her debut, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And Paul will be there in the background, making sure that she's comfortable and safe. So there you go. Teamwork makes the dream work. I hope that you enjoyed our little session at A for Apple. And we'll have a go with the angel. We'll have a look at the angel. We'll colour in our apple on Thursday, and we'll have a look at the angel. All right, and then onwards and upwards. And don't forget the alphabet of the month. You might enjoy that, and also the journal. If you fancy really kind of logging what we do, that might be a nice place to do it in that little book. All right, lots of love. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Have a great week and stay warm, and yeah, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.